All right. First of all, let's turn down the radiation there. All right, perfect. Hey guys, sorry about the huge delay. Um, I was reminded last minute that today was a Tuesday, so here we are. I've been tied up a lot with playing Gundam Evolution, a little bit of Battle Alliance here and there, and yeah, trying to figure stuff out with the Star Rail CBT. I really want to play it because I got access, but let's just say there's a hiccup and their support system is effectively non-existent for what that's worth. So, yeah. Anyways, from what I saw in chat, I have a lot to actually look over today, so I guess good thing I was in the middle of playing some Cyberpunk and getting a little tipsy. Kind of needed, apparently. So, what we're going to do is we're kind of going to start from the top here. We're going to check out the event. We're going to look at the suit in there. And then we're going to pop on over and take a look at what's in the gacha. And then we'll look at alterations. And someone also mentioned something about an arena suit. So you know what? I'll probably do event, arena suit, and then gacha, and then alters. Yes, I think that's a good balance. Hey, Alan. All right. Wrong button, as always. Shop, there we go. All right, exchange. The Alabaster armor coin. Ah, the Barbados. This is the 6th of the power tribute, right? Yeah. All right, cool. So, we'll take a look at this and get going. When urban category, enemy melee damage plus 35%. Quite unfortunately, as this relies on a actual map type in the scenario, one of the urban maps, I'm not sure if it's overall viability. Lore-wise, okay. But practicality, we don't really have control over the maps we play in most content, so you're really not going to see this benefit. That's pretty much all it boils down to. But in scenarios where you do actually fight in an urban category, this is nice. Actually, as far as like event suits go, this is, I think, one of the highest modifiers we've ever seen. So that's really good for it. Gundam type for urban. All right, all right. I don't like the 4 urban tag. Never really been in the 4 line. Been a fan of the 4 line of tags. I go over it almost every single stream. I'm not gonna keep doing it because it's. If you need an explanation, go look at any of my other streams where I talk about gun. I was about to call it Gunpla Warfare, but it's not that anymore. GBM. So, anyways, statistically, interesting. Okay, so we're looking at about what, 3,700 shot attack, kind of sitting in that healthy bracket. Yeah, for a melee-centric suit, that's actually really strong, so. And yeah, it has about 1,600 change melee attack, so overall, statistically, nice head. Not a fan of the 4 urban tag, but the Gundam type tag is flexible, and the part trait's really powerful if you're able to activate it, which is dubious at best. Torso. When armor is 40% or more, revive with 30% armor one time. So this is a relatively standard guts kind of deal. However, the prerequisite here is you have a more than 40% armor, and then you instantly drop to 0. You'll then revive with 30% of your armor. Like, on paper, it sounds convenient. It prevents you from being one-hit killed. But if you're in a position where you're being one-hit killed, this really only going to do so much, like, straight up. Gundam type for urban area. Okay, pretty much the same as as the head. Statistically, we're looking at about 1,500 shot attack, almost 2,000 melee. That's a lot of melee attack on an event torso. And as for shot, that is also a significant amount, easily going over 1,200. So that's good. Good stuff. Statistically, so far, this is turning out to be really nice. But the traits slash word tags kind of... Alright, arms. Autocannon, D power. I'm not even going to look at it. Gundam type for urban areas, still okay. And statistically, 3,900 or so melee attack. And then we're looking at about, what, 1750 shot attack, kind of in that ballpark area. Honestly, for a pair of melee arms, that's a healthy amount of shot attack on them. As far as melee attack goes, yeah, for a welfare, that's pretty good. The EX skill is a complete wash, however, though, D power is really going to get you nowhere anytime fast. And much like what I said with the other parts, the tags are just kind of... Alright, legs. Gundam type close combat. Alright, we're finally getting rid of that urban tag and bringing in something useful. Close combat is or at least was, a staple of all melee builds early on. It's definitely fallen out in terms of other word tags just because of the traits and the parts that have become available over time. But it is extremely easy to get your hands on overall, so... yeah, still a powerful tag, just slightly fallen out of favor due to activations and whatnot, but nice. Infinitely better than the 4-line. With blade category equipped, enemy EX skill pen reduced. Huh. So that's kind of a interesting defensive skill. Okay. Blades aren't terribly rare. We do have a good handful of blades in the game that are powerful. I'm not sure about the defensive aspects of this, though. That's a little... enemy EX skill pen reduced by 45%. I guess it can be good in very certain situations where the enemy has a lot of EX skill, like piercing. Outside of that, though... yeah. I think this would be very good on a part that had a second trait attached to it due to alteration. Standalone, though, it's neat. Like, very neat, but I don't know if I'd field it myself. Okay, and statistically, what are we looking at here? So about 1,700 shot attack-ish, 1,900 melee attack. For a pair of legs, absolutely amazing. Do keep in mind, typically when we have legs and backpack, those are the lowest offensively statted parts of the entire main frame of the suit. Seeing them go over 1,000 on a welfare is really good. Seeing them go over 1,200 is excellent. Beyond that, it's just... awesome. It's just gravy on top, man. And this suit here just keeps going with the melee attack. So bueno. I like it. Alright, backpack. That's a backpack. I said backpack. Alright, cool. Bloody wrench. A- power, D pierce, cutscene cooldown, bindable. It's pretty much more or less exactly what we saw with the original 6th form. Raise melee of your squad attack by 49%. It should be noted, 49% is a multiplier typically delegated to limiteds and Sokais. Seeing this is really, really nice. We've traded, from what Knight was saying, heal for a fat melee buff, and that's exactly what this is. Honestly, I didn't expect to see 49% here. I was fully expecting to see 29%, 39% if we were super lucky. 49% completely exceeds my expectations for a welfare. Nice. Gundam type close combat. Okay, yep. And statistically, okay, so about 1,700 or so shot attack, 17 change melee. Yeah, I have nothing to complain about in terms of offensive statting for this suit. The stats overall are really healthy looking. The tags aren't bad. Gundam type as the primary makes sense. IBO. The close combat tag is definitely nice to see and thematically accurate. For urban area, thematically accurate, but please never again. Alright, let's take a look at our mace rush here, our weapon. Or I guess wrench mace. C power, A- pierce, low cooldown. Unfortunately, the C power gimps this very heavily. Yeah, raise your melee defense by 24%. It's okay as a EX skill. And what was the stats here offensively on that? 4,424. I think that's the highest welfare attack we've seen. All right. So, lots of offensive stats. Gundam type is a very flexible tertiary tag that works into activating a ton of traits. Close combat, a powerful, relatively still stable melee tag. For urban area, can just go away. A couple interesting traits. None of the EX skills really opt. It's okay. Overall, it brings the numbers to the table. It kind of slacks a little on EX skills. However, that's what custom skins are for, to slap on those powerful EX skills so that you have your actual statted parts and then you have your EX skills separately. Overall, for a welfare, it's pretty good. Okay, cool beans. Now, arena. Oh, the Moon Gundam. Well. What are you doing here, friend? Last I checked, you were to welfare. Okay. Well, this is the new arena suit. We're going to start from the top, work our way down. So, Moon Gundam, arena version, the Noggin. While for space, squad recovers 200 armor gradually. Like, why? They've got to understand, like, they have to know that is a terrible trait. They have to know that is completely useless. At least the number is high. But, like... recovering armor gradually on paper sounds really nice because it means you'll be harder to kill with natural regen. However, keep in mind a typical part will have well over 1,000 armor. Most of what we see right now, people running after they break like what 1.5, 1.8 million C power, people are just straight rocking up like, God, what? Like 20k, 30k armor, higher even. 200 is nothing. It does nothing in the long run. Yeah, if it was 2k armor recovery, it could potentially see some use, or if it was like recover 5% gradually or something. But 200, it's like, oof. Even this part, at absolute max, has 2,000, well, just under 2,000 armor. That's going to be 10 ticks of this part trait just to recover the head armor. That doesn't count the torso, which always has more, the shield, anything else. It's just, why? All right, mid-range. Nice, okay, workable tertiary for space. No. Statistically, we're looking at about 3,800 or so shot attack, 1,750 or so melee attack. Well, as far as heads go, it's got a good amount of melee, good amount of shot, kind of healthy on both. The trait is terrible to tags. One tag good, one tag not good, you know? Alright, torso, what do you got for us? With power attribute, squad cooldown minus 12%. Now this part's cooking with the gas on. That's what I like to see. So as long as your squad, as long as your power attribute, squad doesn't actually matter, all of your cooldowns are going to be reduced by 12%. That trait is amazing on an arena suit. Like, amazing. Mid-range, ace exclusive. Okay. And then statistically, we're looking at about 1,600 or so shot attack and just under 2k melee. For torso, that's a lot of slappage. It's got a very powerful trait. And with mid-range ace exclusive, it's got really good tags as well. This torso is nice. Very nice. Alright, arms. Butterfly Edge, B+, Pierce C power. Emit a beam saber and yeet. Low cooldown. If the power was higher on this, I would look at it a lot more favorably, but considering it's only C power, Mid-range ace exclusive. Alright, it's got the good tags. And then statistically, we're looking at about, 1,700 shot attack in that ballpark and just under 4k melee attack. For a pair of arena arms, that's pretty damn good to see statistically. The EX skill, though, C power really doesn't do much for it. Word tags are also nice, though. Legs. Ah, yes, the high heel legs. While mid-range, enemy EX skill pen reduced by 45%. Now, unlike the Barbados, that had a slightly different activation requirement for this, mid-range, easy enough to do. Enemy EX skill pen just, refers to general penetration with pierce and whatnot. 45% is a hefty number. Again, this doesn't have alterations, so much like what I said previously, it's neat. It's very neat, but I don't think I'd field it personally. But, mileage may vary, whatever works for you. Mid-range, force space. It's a shame they brought back force space, though. That can just go away and never come back. Statistically, 19 change melee attack. 1,700 shot. 1,750, kind of around there. Statistically, not a bad pair. Tags, 50%. One's good, one's eh. And the trait, interesting on paper. Alright, backpack. Cycle plate. Now, how did they do on this? B+ power, D pierce. Is that not the same value as the normal moon backpack? It's a carbon copy. Alright. So, for anyone looking at this suit and going, what part should I get? You want this one. Unlike beam funnels, or I guess I should specify shot funnels currently in GBM, physical funnels are a goddamn threat. Shot funnels only shoot so many times per second. Well, I guess all funnels in general only shoot so many times per second, and then they go on kind of a cooldown period, and then they do it again. The biggest issue with shot funnels is your damage output heavily relies on the amount of funnels you shoot out because of that timed interval, and typically their stats are a little, well, not stats, but their pierce powers typically doesn't scale as well as the physical side of things. These slap hard. When the Moon Gundam was originally launched and we got the backpack and we used it, we realized how much of a threat physical funnels were versus shot. They use, from what I understand, a different damage formula. You know, they actually use the physical melee formula versus the shot formula. So they just demolish stuff. Very good. And because funnels clip through terrain as well, there's no avoiding these. So, yeah. Interesting decision, Bandai. Interesting decision. Alright, so very, very powerful EX skill here. Mid-range for space, please go away. Statistically, 1700 shot attack, kind of around there. 18 change melee attack. I have no complaints statistically or EX-wise for this backpack. It's purely just the tags, and those can be hot swapped out with a back slot. Yeah, so, well, I guess we have like a handful of physical funnels, but they more or less use the same formula as the Moon backpack, to what I understand. Like, we have beam funnels, and then we have not beam funnels. I have yet to see funnels that shoot physical bullets. I've seen only beam funnels, right? And obviously, flip side of that, when it comes to melee funnels, I've only ever seen, or physical funnels, I've only ever seen weapons that just demolish whatever they're being thrown at, whether they're the self-destructing type of funnels or the Moon backpack, which is, I am a slab, I'm going to pummel your face in now. What? What are you confused about, Mana? Did the Z Gundam have that? When did that even come out? That was a long time ago. No wonder I forgot. There's beam melee funnels. Yeah, but don't they use the same damage formula as like the Moon backpack though? It's too complicated. Long and short, Moon Gundam very good. Other funnels mediocre, mostly bad. That's what it boils down. I wish they would just address the funnels issue and make all funnels good instead of just having this weird divide where it's like some beam funnels are good, most of them are bad. But all, you know, actual physical weapon funnels are just top tier. It's like, why? Why have this demarcation? Just balance. Sorry, Mana. You gotta understand, these words, when you're talking a lot, tend to blend together because there's a lot of similarity in the English language between a lot of these things. Melee and physical, very interchangeable. Beam and shot, also very interchangeable. Don't blame me for bad naming schemas. I misspoke, but I will never admit defeat or fault. Alright, let's take a look at the Beam Tomahawk. I found this interesting, because, like, when I think of a tomahawk, alright, I always imagine you got the handle, it goes up, and then you have the axe blade, right? And then you look at the Moon's Beam Tomahawk, and it's like you're grabbing it, there's an axe right outside your hand, and then you have the beam saber. The tomahawk in this Beam Tomahawk acts more like a sword guard than a tomahawk, you know? Beam, beam, beam EXs. We do. Didn't you know? Alright, when armor is 60% or more, 50% chance to survive a fatal blow. I don't like guts. I honestly, like, you shouldn't be triggering any of these, you know, on death, revive, or survive a fatal blow things. If you're dying in fights, you should probably take a step back and try to figure out a better way to approach the situation. You know? if you're dying instantly to the enemy's, you know, bisect where the fight starts and they just immediately slice you up for 16 million damage, you should probably just admit defeat at that point, because there's really not much you're going to be able to do to come back. Haha, I rezzed. Immediately bisected again, because you know they have 125% CDR. All right. Statistically on this beam, okay, we got a little bit of shot attacks, like 400 carryover shot attack on that. Good amount of melee attack. Honestly, for an arena weapon, it's pretty good. Mid-range, force space, please no. So the trait's a wipe, force space is a wipe, but the mid-range is definitely workable and the stats are pretty dang okay. And the weapon, or I guess the ranged weapon specifically, the beam rifle. With axe category equipped, 60% chance to not recoil. That means you get hit, do you stagger? Don't get hit. But 60% chance to not flinch, I guess, can be kind of useful, depending on what you're playing against. Mid-range ace exclusive, okay. And, alright, we go, like, what? That's 4150 or so shot attack? Solid. I have no real complaints on this statistically for an arena gun. Not a huge fan of the part trait, honestly. And the word tags are workable for sure. Nice. Honestly, it's just get the backpack. Just lots and lots of the backpack. I can't remember. I think it's 13 to fully uncap. I'm gonna get 15 to be safe. Okay. Life is a-okay now. Oh wait, hold on a sec. Ah, no, 0 out of 10 there. All right. So we've looked at our welfare. We've looked at our arena. Let's take a look at our pilots. Don't forget the chest. Didn't I look at the Moon Gundam chest? I could have swore I looked at the Moon Gundam chest. Am I taking crazy pills? Exchange, permanent, arena, moon, torso. Yeah, I did look at the torso. To grab it? Nah, I don't really care about that. Look, I run one suit all day, every day. I'm just gonna grab the backpack. I don't really care too much. The torso's good, but anyways, back to our capsules. Okay, what do we got in here? So we have our ReGZ custom, our AI pilots. Okay. So we're not going to look at the high new in here. We're not going to look at the RGZ in here. They're both 7-star tune-up. There's really no point. We're just going to look at them in alteration. Yeah. Actually, does the ReGZ have alteration, I think is the better question here. Because I'm not seeing the... It has 7-star, but does it have alteration? No alt. Okay. So we'll look at the RGZ here. We'll look at our pilots. Then we'll go over to alteration and do the last little bit of cleanup there. Okay. Now, as it is a 7-star, I'm not going to be looking at the stats on this. Just assume because it's a 7-star, it's just head and shoulders above everything else. The only exception is obviously going to be limited in Sokai 7-stars. So you'll pretty much have your 6-star regulars, your 6-star Sokai limiteds, then you'll have your 7-star standards, and then you'll have your 7-star Sokai limiteds. And even then, the 7-star standards probably has some crossover with the 6-star Sokai limiteds, just because of the stat differentiation going on between all these things. But yeah, 7-star is just the best, pretty much. 91 Harrison ult, don't even know what that is, but I'll take your word for it. All right. RGZ Custom, what is your trait? While Transformer, all enemies EX skill damage plus 30%. Okay, Transformer is a relatively accessible tertiary tag. Its total mileage may vary though because of what it actually boosts, primarily being your shot defense and some melee attack. Probably something you're going to be running more on a melee suit for that extra offensive boost. But again, whatever your build is, go ham. All enemy EX skill damage plus 30%. That's a healthy number there. 30% is typically what we see on standards, welfares, on the very high end. Once we get to limited and Sokais, that's where 40% is the base, bumping up to 50. All right. Ace exclusive transformer tags. Nice. All right. What do we got in the torso? With Saber category equipped, EX skill cooldown reduced by 20%. Okay, we have Sabers coming out the wazoo in this game. There's going to be no issue finding one of those to equip onto your suit. The EX skill cooldown reduction is very good. I think that's the second highest modifier we have accessible right now. So put on a Saber, get your cooldowns. Very nice. Ace exclusive transformer yet again. All right, arms. Grenade launcher, B+ power, D Pierce. I thought this was going to be a magazine when I started reading grenade launcher. It is not. It has a low cooldown, B+ power. That alone on paper makes it very powerful. However, you know, we've had EX skills that had B+ power and hit kind of like a wet noodle. So this is one of those things we'll have to actually see in practice to know if it's actually good or not. But on paper, nice. Nice little pocket rocket skill. Ace exclusive mid-range. Okay. Okay, get rid of transformer, bring in mid-range. Okay. Okay, I'm here for that. I'm here for that. Beam gun. B+ power, D pierce. Fire the beam gun stowed in the side skirt on your waist. Okay. I'll have to see the animation for this to know whether or not like it's good, because there's a lot of factors that come in with beam skills. You know, how far do the beams travel? How quick do they travel? What's the spread on it? All these things. But B+ power, low cooldown, on paper, much like the grenade launcher, looks good. We'll have to wait and see. Ace exclusive mid-range. Okay. Backpack. Rifle combination. A power, D pierce. Race speed, melee attack, shot attack. Alright, so the one issue with boosting both melee and shot attack, obviously, is it reduces the overall potency because the buff numbers kind of get split between them. 29% melee attack and 19% shot attack. Honestly, we have so many backpacks that do this already. And we have a ton of backpacks that give higher percent bonuses. So I wouldn't get this for the EX skill. I'd get it for the aesthetics, the stats, and any other myriad number of reasons, but don't get it for the EX skill. Unless it's your thing. You know, if you really like the animation to this or you really like the suit, you do you. All right, Ace exclusive mid-range. Beam Sword. While mid-range, initial EX skill charge boosts by 20%. Okay, that's a healthy number. Not the highest, but... Yeah. Mid-range is very easy to get your hands on and activate. The initial EX skill charge boost, good. Ace exclusive mid-range. Okay. And the Kalashnikov. Nice. With technique attribute, all enemy cooldown timeout 20%. So, as long as the suit you're controlling has this equipped on it and is of the technique attribute, which is just 5 or more parts of technique on your suit, the enemy cooldown time is increased by 20%, or rather their CDR is reduced by 20% more. Okay. Do keep in mind, from what I've understood from people that have tested this, these types of traits don't actually work if it's just put onto one of your AI allies and you don't ever control it. It apparently only works if you're controlling the suit, and also apparently whatever you're targeting. Finicky. Very neat gun. Alright, Ace exclusive Transformer. And our last part here is the shield. Melee attack down 10%, so you're going to be doing 10% less melee attack damage. And in trade-off, you're getting 30% more shooting power. I think that's a very good trade-off, as if you're looking to boost your shot power, losing melee attack is irrelevant, honestly. Ace exclusive in mid-range word tags, nice. Very interesting. Very interesting. It's got some neat traits. Good word tag selection. I guess my only complaint is it doesn't have an alteration, so we're stuck with just one trait per slot. Kind of kills a lot of the value of it, you know? Alright, and let's take a look at our pilots. We'll start with our 3-star, Arena Noyama. Supporter job license. Ooh, we're starting off strong here, aren't we? While Amphibious EX skill cooldown reduced by 20%. So Amphibious is only available on a very limited amount of suits in this game, and none of them are very good. So that's just... The EX skill cooldown is nice, but Amphibious? Nah, man. Alright, word tags. Amphibious for computers. Makes sense, considering, you know, builders and everything. Alright, and statistically, okay. Token melee, we're looking at like just over 400-ish melee attack. Cool. And then as for shot, we're looking at like... excuse me, around 1900 or so. As far as 3-star pilots go, that shot attack number is nothing to sneeze at. However, the support job license really undermines all of that, as it gives 0 offensive, or rather 0 stat boosts, and it reduces the cooldowns on healing EX skills, if I remember correctly. So, interesting decisions there. Alright, and let's look at good old Baz. When armor is 60% or less, reduce cooldown by 50% once. That could be very useful depending on your build, your EX skill selection, all sorts of factors. The requirement to take damage, though, Heavy armor, force space. Please go away, force space. Heavy armor is a rather flexible tertiary shot tag, boosting both shot attack and shot defense, and a little bit of melee defense in there too. Statistically, we're looking at, that's what, like 2,800 or so melee? Ooh. And then shot attack, we're looking at like 1,200 or so. Statistically, as a defender, pretty okay numbers. He'll have a good amount of armor, comes with a good amount of shot defense on there, so a good handful of resistances. The trait, you know, depends on your play style, I guess, and the word tags. I don't like force space. Interesting combination of a character. Alright. Now, let's pop on over to our alterations. Let's watch those Twitter videos. Let's see, what do I have Twitter videos for here? I believe it's just the High New and the ReGZ. Okay, well, let's get this going here. Twitter. Do I have to rebind it? Yeah, I gotta rebind it. Okay. Let's see what we have here. ReGZ. Grenade launcher. That was terrible spread. Oh my... Like, are you guys seeing that? Nah, G. Nah. Not miss me with that. That is... No. That's not okay. Not happening. All right, and now, see, kids, this is what I mean by on paper it looks really good. Isn't homing at all. To answer your question, Delta, watch the missiles in flight. Notice how that missile on the right goes in a straight line from when it was fired. Notice the one that's the final one fired, this one right here, really just doesn't care about that target and just kind of keeps on going. Pepper Ridge Farm knows. And actually, yeah, that's just sad, man. And then the other one, it's just a straight spray. Now this will be really good for like mob clearing, but yikes. All right, let's check the last EX skill. Maybe it'll salvage the entire situation. Gotta say, I'm actually a big fan of that, where the animation actually splits the enemy in half, and then they bounce, and then they recombine for the death kill. That's actually kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Yeah. So, grenade launcher, huge dodge. Doesn't appear to have any homing whatsoever. The missiles are very splayed out. They just kind of do their own jam. Overall, not a very nice EX skill. The legs, those are just a wide cone left to right spray in front of you. Honestly, good for clearing mobs, low level things, but it's a one and done. Frankly, just use Rolling Buster, And the last EX skill, it takes a long time to play through, relatively flashy, makes use of most of the suit's weapon systems. My only real issue with it is the duration that it takes, but if you're a fan of the mobile suit, you really like the animation for it, whatever, that's probably a really cool EX skill for you, and just do it, man. This game, you don't need to care about min-maxing. Alright, that was a rather interesting showing. Alright, let's take a look at last week's high new. Okay. Has 2 magazine EX skills, alright. Okay. Honestly, what I would expect from like a Sokai suit, lots of power involved there. The 2 magazine skills look to be really powerful. The final EX skill is to the point, just kind of a bang kind of deal. Okay. So, here we are. Okay. So, we have the TR6 from last limited banner, and the high new from this limited banner. And is this? Okay, yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look at the TR6, the high new, and then the F91. Yeah. Don't forget to check TR6 Haze and the animation video. I'd love to, Mana, but after scrolling through their Twitter back like to midway through September, I didn't find it, and I decided, alright, cool beans, and I moved on. So, yeah. Remember, this stream was very rushed, so. Anyways, let's take a look at our TR6. Now, I don't think I have to say it, but I'm going to say it anyways. For anyone that hasn't seen me talk about alterations before, I'm only going to take a look, at least in this specific scenario, at the word tags, the EX skill part trait. And that's because when it comes to alternating a part, it's more or less guaranteed the stats are going to increase. We have less than 5 examples in this game where the stats drastically differed pre and post alteration. But with that in mind, always make sure you know exactly what you're getting and that it's what you want before investing the materials. You cannot undo an alteration. But with that in mind, EX skill traits always get improved for the better, so I'm going to look at those. And as I didn't look at these suits in the gacha, I'll be looking at the word tags as well for them. Oh man, it actually sent me the link to it. Do I want to open it? Yeah, fine. I guess I'll do it. My excuse is gone. Let's take a look at the TR6. And then we'll get to alterations. Okay. Alright, and that definitely looked like that was a shot cooldown reduction EX skill or something, so... I don't know. Those EX animations are kind of what I would imagine from a limited suit. They do their work. Like, this one is just... yeah, it just shreds things, and it's good for multi-hits, multiple enemies. The Army X skill. Yeah. Cool. Alright. The build strike is new too. Wait, is the Zaku 1 new as well? I don't remember talking about Zaku. Okay. What about the unit 4? No, I did the BST. I did the BST. We're safe. Okay, so we got the Zaku 1, the Build Strike, the F91, and then the 2 new suits. Thankfully, as it's alterations, I can gloss over a lot of things, so I'm gonna do that. Because it's like almost midnight, and I do kind of want to get to bed at a reasonable hour, you monsters. Let's not do a 3-hour stream. So, Zaku 1. Let's get cracking. When attacking with physical, shooting damage output boosted by 20. Flat number, useless. Defender job, enemy shooting power reduced by 35%. That could be useful depending on your general build, composition, whatever, but I think overall restricting that to a defender job, although thematically makes sense, as this only actually applies to the suit that you have it equipped onto, very limited in scope. Okay, Zaku type commander. I do like that commander tag. Alright, torso. Defender job, melee crit rate boosted by 17%. Crit is a waste of time. Moving on. While Zaku type, EX skill cooldown reduced by 23%. Zaku type is relatively easy to get your hands on, and the 23% cooldown is, I believe, the highest mod that I've seen so far. So, cool beans there. Nice stuff. I just don't like the fact it's paired up with that first trait, but... okay. For what it is, nice. Arms. Brave Saber combo. B plus power, low cooldown. Based on the definition of this, bring down a wild rush of blows. I feel like this is going to be very similar to like Dagger Rush. It depends on the animation completely, but I don't have high hopes for it. Legs. Smoke Grenade. B plus power, D pierce, low cooldown, and you reduce the enemy's defense by 29%. Okay, cool. B plus power is nice, low cooldown's nice. Reducing their defense further could lead up to further shenanigans. But again, mileage may vary, depends on what you're doing, what you're running. When attacking with physical EX skill piercing boosted by 28%, so your physical EX skills just have almost a third of extra pierce. Okay. And while Zaku type EX skill piercing is boosted by a further 22%, so at absolute max, this is a 50% EX skill pierce boost, as long as you have a physical EX skill that you're using, and your suit has Zaku type. Okay. That's symbiotic. Zaku type boosts physical / melee, so okay. Well, more melee than physical, but yeah, workable. And that was the backpack, right? Yes. Okay, beam sword, saber, beam thingy stick, heat saber. With power attribute, melee damage output boosted by a flat 20. That's still useless. After 15 seconds pass, enemy EX skill pen reduced by 65%. The 15 seconds prerequisite is kinda dicey because typically you're gonna be dead by then, so yeah. Rakuten Bazooka! It's the big bazoo. I don't like bazookas, as you guys know. While Zaku type, enemy strong melee power reduced by 25%. Okay, remember, strong melee attack refers to the big wind-up third attack in the normal melee combo, and also if they're using an infighter or outfighter job license, when they dash and they attack, they do that strong attack right out of the gate. That is what you're reducing, nothing else. Very limited in scope. While Zaku type, melee damage output boosted by a flat 300. That could be very useful early on in the game when you're really not doing a lot of damage, but after a certain point, that's kinda... It's also useful for that one very specific challenge where you have to do flat damage bonuses, but like, we don't judge weapons based on their absolute niche use cases. Zaku machine gun with power attribute, special shot damage output boosted by a flat 20. Remember, special attack is when you hold down the shot attack button itself for a few seconds, and the actual attack changes based on the gun you have in hand. If you're using a beam rifle, you'll get into that wing Gundam pose, lean back, fire a beam forward. If you're using a bazooka, you'll charge a really powerful shot, has a wider range, more damage, etc. So that's what this is boosting, your special shot. So if you're not using a long shooter or a mid shooter job license, this will do literally nothing for you. While Xeon shooting damage output boosted by a flat 300. See what I said before about that one very specific mission. Yeah, it's nice that it's the only part you need to complete that challenge now, but like, that's... I don't think it's worth the investment, honestly. MMP-80 machine gun. While Commander, which is a very standard tag and shot builds, initial EX skill charge boosted by 12%. Alright, it's pretty much a token number. With power attribute, enemy EX skill damage plus 30%. So, okay, while you have power attribute, you're doing 30% more EX skill damage to your opponent. Okay. Not really that great. And lastly, the shield. Shield bash. D pierce, A minus power, low cooldown, raise your melee attack by 19%. On paper, it sounds really good. In practice, no idea. Alright, let's take a look at our build strike, because honestly, the Zaku one was meh. Alright, build strike Gundam full package, alteration. Head mounted Vulcan, goodbye. Pro tag for urban area, cool beans. Torso. When armor's 80% or less, EX skill damage output boosted by a flat 35. After 30 seconds pass, enemy EX skill damage plus 50%. So this kind of falls back to what I said about the previous, after 15 seconds pass. 30 seconds is a long time in this game for most content once you get past a certain point. When you actually need to have 50% more damage being taken by your opponents from EX skill damage, 30 seconds is just too long. It's not inherently bad, it's just the activation trigger makes it really meh at best. Arms for the build strike full package. With technique attribute self, strong melee crit rate boosted by 30%. Crit has not changed in its state of being terrible in the last 5 minutes. While Pro Tag, initial EX skill charge boosted by 20%. Pro Tag is effectively core on melee builds, much like Commander is on shot, so you're most likely going to have that. Initial EX skill charge boosted by 20%. That's a good number. Do keep in mind, initial EX skill charge only refers to the first charge it takes before you use the EX skill. After that, it uses the normal cooldown reduction numbers. or whatever your boosted number is based on your traits. Double Saber Rush, no thank you, that is just a known bad EX skill. Moving right along. Backpack. Launch Build Booster, S Power, D Pierce, Bindable Cutscene. Melee attack of your squad is boosted by 34%, and shot attack of your squad is boosted by 24%. Okay, good numbers, better than, 29% to 19% for sure. The split obviously does kind of nerf a lot of its overall value because it doesn't boost a single trait by like 49% or anything, but not bad. Not bad at all. Okay. Beam Rifle. Outfighter Job, initial EX skill charge boosted by 20%. Alright, Outfighters are a dime a dozen. When attacking with beam, shooting power boosted by 35%. We have a ton of beam shot EX skills as well. No issues here. Alright. I guess my only real issue here is the Outfighter Job mixed with shooting power. You know, Outfighters, shooting, not really the what you'd expect to go together. For a hybrid suit, okay, but you're probably going to want to favor that second trait over the first one. I personally feel the shooting power boost is good, but the split kind of skews its overall value, I think. All right, let's look at our enhanced beam rifle. What technique attribute? Job gauge increase boosted, and what technique attribute? It's boosted further. Should be noted, for those that don't know, I don't like the job gauge. I don't think it's very good. I think they could have done way better with its implementation and what it actually offers to the player. So to me, seeing these job gauge increase things is just a waste of a slot. Mileage may vary. Whatever you do, you do. And if you like what they bring to the table, power to you. Okay. And our Chobum Shield. Beam Gun, B+, Power, D Pierce, 11 magazine. Okay. Cool beans. Yeah, so the Build Strike, like... I didn't mean to double tap. It's a very interesting upgrade. The alterations... I think I would probably say alternating the Chobum Shield is probably going to be your best thing to do with it, just because that's already a known quantity as a very good EX skill, because it's a magazine that's already good. Enhancing it further with alteration will do no damage. It will only make something that is good even better. So the stats are just kind of the +1 to that, I think. All right. And I believe, yes, we're going to look at the F91, and then we're going to move on to our 2 limited suits and alteration. And then that's it, man. Gundam F91, Harrison Martin version. Alright, head, EX skill full power mode, awakening. Speed 20% up, melee attack 29% up, shot attack 39% up. Again, the split does kind of reduce its overall value, in my opinion. But, you know, whatever works for you. They're not bad numbers, though. Federation Commander. Okay. Torso. Mega Machine Cannon, B+ Power, 11 magazine. Okay. This is one of those things I'd have to really see the animation for to know if it's worth it or not, because with the machine cannon, sometimes it fires and it only goes a very short distance. Sometimes the bullets are spread. Sometimes, yeah, all these other things. But on paper, looks solid. Both the melee and shot buffs got a 10% boost, which is nice. Yeah, you know, if it's just like a 10% boost of both the numbers, it's really nice. But like, I've always favored specialization on one of your stats instead of splitting it between the two, you know? Stay away from your hybrid suits and focus on just like one stat. Once you get like really powerful and you can just start mowing down all the content, then yeah, do whatever the heck you want. Make your 100k melee, 100k shot super suit. Go ham. Alright, arms, integrated. Back parts EX skill power boosted by 30%, and then boosted by a further 40% by the second trait, totaling 70% back parts EX skill power boost. Spooky, scary skeletons. Alright. Legs, With rifle category equipped, enemy melee power reduced by 30%. Again, only affects the suit that this is equipped onto, not your entire squad, so limited usage. While commander, EX skill cooldown reduced by 20%. Commander is a staple word tag to see on shot builds, so this is just an EX skill cooldown reduction for shot machines. Federation commander tags. All right. And let's see the prodigal backpack that got the arms to give it a 70% boost. VSBR. Okay. B plus power, 11 magazine. So it's effectively a variant of the Strike Noir backpack. Not bad. Not bad at all. Beam Saber. Against enemies with neutral attribute, enemy melee power reduced by 30%. We already talked about that. Against enemy with neutral attribute, enemy shooting damage plus 30%. So their melee power is down 30%, but they take 30% more shooting damage. I guess that's helpful on neutrals because you don't really have type advantage or disadvantage. But like, I don't know, I think there's just way better traits you can have in the melee slot. It slaps like a freight train hitting you at the back. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, the Strike Noir backpack is, to my knowledge, still really, really powerful. So, and I don't even... It got an alteration, didn't it, too? So... Okay. Beam Rifle. While Federation, shooting damage output boosted by 35. And while Federation, squad shooting damage plus flat 300. So overall, while Federation, your squad is getting a 300 boost, you're getting a 335 boost. The flat damage boost is really just not that great. And lastly, my favorite, the Beam Launcher / Bazooka. With Technique Attribute, shooting damage taken reduced by a flat 35. Wow, I'm really glad that enemy that is shooting me for over 2,000 damage a hit is doing 35 less damage per shot. It's really saving my skin. Sarcasm aside, no. When attacking with Beam, squad all power plus 25%. Now, my question on that, does it mean that the first time you attack with Beam, your entire squad is just given a 25% all power boost? Or is it that whenever anyone in your squad uses a Beam attack, are they getting a 25% all power boost? On paper, very convenient. If you have the open weapon slots on your tertiaries, you're not primary suit, you could slap this onto both of them, get a 50% all power boost to your squad, and considering that this is not a gacha suit, relatively achievable. It sounds really interesting, but I think it really comes down to how it's actually executed in game. Because the wording is very not clear. Clear as mud. All right, let's move on to our limited alterations. Let's take a look at our TR6, and we will go from there. God, that is one big mouthful of a suit name, so I'm not going to say it. While ace exclusive, all enemies EX skill damage plus 35%, and when attacking with Beam, all enemies shooting damage plus 35%. So while you're ace exclusive, which is probably going to be a guaranteed, I'm assuming the suit is shot, you're getting quite a bit of extra juice here, and we have a lot of Beam EX skills available for shooting, so there's no problems there. So you're looking at a shooting damage up, EX skill damage up, splitting that damage output, very nice. Also, as both of these are all enemy shooting damage and all enemies EX skill damage, they stack much better with EX skill power boosts and shooting power boosts than just adding more of those into the formula. So, very nice. Very nice. Ace exclusive Gundam type. Cool. Torso. While Transformer, all enemies EX skill damage plus 40%, and while Transformer squad cooldown minus 19%. Alright, Transformer is a available tag for sure. Excuse me. I'm not sure how to feel running that on a primary suit, but it is activating a lot of powerful traits on this part, so that 19% cooldown is really good. The X skill damage as well. That's nice. That's real nice. Kind of expected, honestly, from what the suit is. All right, arms. Hrududu 2 and Composite Shield Booster. SS minus power. D Pierce, bindable cutscene. You get a 48% heal, shot attack up 39%, melee defense up 39%, and all shot cooldowns instantly down 28%. We are seeing this a lot more often in our new gacha suits, especially limiteds and Sokais, where using an EX skill, typically a relatively long animation EX skill cutscene, reduces cooldown. So this is kind of the new standard. The double S minus power is going to guarantee it hits very hard. It does give a nice boost, 39% shot attack, a heal. Overall, it does a lot of things all at once. Ace exclusive high firepower word tags to boot. Alright, let's take a look at our legs. High Mega Particle Cannon. S Pierce B plus power. So not only does it come out of the box with B plus power, which is typically considered very powerful, it also has S Pierce, meaning it's going to ignore a significant majority of your opponent's resistances and defenses. That is not kosher at all. Jesus. What's its base value? I'm curious. A plus B plus. Yeah, even then that's just... yikes. Very, very powerful EX skill there if it hits. Backpack. When shot attack is over 20,000, that's a rounding error, honestly. 20,000 very easy to do these days. All enemy shooting damage plus 35%. Okay. Melee attack down 20%, so you're doing 20% less melee damage. Your entire squad's EX skill power go up by 35%. That is a powerful sub-trait too. Nice. Yeah, it's effectively the bees, except the beams. Not the beams! With twin rifle category equipped. These are the twin swords, by the by. With twin rifle category equipped, squad all power plus 40%. That is a hefty boost. I think the highest we saw was 50% on a previous Sokai / limited. That was already terrifying to look at. When melee attack is over 10,000, all enemies EX skill damage plus 35%. This suit has a lot of boosts. It's actually nuts how much of, like, this is easily, with all these parts, like, well over 250%. This is crazy. Alright, and the guns. Cooldown time up 5%. All enemies cooldown time up 30%. So you're taking a 5% CDR increase to make your enemy take a 30% CDR increase. Reminds me a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm gonna take 100 of my life points, and you're gonna take all 3,000, you dirty little... So that's kind of a dirty trade-off. I can't say I don't like it, though. And the second trait, while high firepower, squad EX skill power plus 35%. High firepower, a very powerful and available tertiary tag. The EX skill power for your squad, very nice. So, like, this suit just packs a heck of a punch. It has a ton of boosts for itself, tons of boosts for the squad. Overall, nice. It's a giant armored gorilla. Alright, let's check out our high new, our current big boy, so to speak. Start from the noggin. With Saber category equipped, shooting power boosted by 40%. Sabers, dime a dozen. Pick it up from your local discount bin. Super easy. When armor is 50% or more, any enemy shooting damage plus 50%. So this is what I meant by when I was talking about the TR6 and how those numbers on the head were really nice because it works well with power boost traits. This is exactly what I mean. So we have shooting power boosted by 40%. If the other one was shooting power boosted by 50%, that'd be really good. But overall, it does less than this, where shooting damage plus 50, or the enemy shooting damage plus 50% trait comes in. Damage formula wise, they're calculated differently. So it's actually better like this than if it was both shooting power boosted or both enemy shooting damage plus. So this split's very nice to see, brings the best out of both worlds in that damage formula. Ace exclusive mid-range, nice. Torso. Middle shooter job, enemy all damage plus 40%. Yeah, hey, why not? I'll just slap a middle shooter on here, and you're just going to take 40% more damage from literally everything. God, savage. Melee attack down 5%, EX skill cooldown reduced by 23%. Nice, that is a nice EX skill cooldown number. The melee attack down is fine because the Hainu is big shot boy. Nice. Arms. This was a magazine. Arm machine gun. Fire live ammo from your forearm. You can move while firing. A- Pierce 11 magazine. Or sorry, A- power D Pierce 11 magazine. Nice. We saw it in practice. It looked pretty good. See it on paper. Looks pretty good. Conclusion? Pretty good. Length. When Federation, EX skill cooldown reduced by 28%. And with Technique, EX skill cooldown reduced by a further 28%. So you're getting an almost... Wow. Just shy of 60% CDR from being Federation and Technique. Man, Bandai, this is a weird slope you have us sliding down right now, but I guess we're all on your wild ride. Jesus Christ. Alright, Hyper Mega Bazooka Launcher, the Backpack EX skill, double S- power, D Pierce, bindable cutscene, 38% heal, 44% shot attack boost, and resist flinching. It's exactly what I expected. Gorilla. Beam Saber. While Federation, enemy EX skill damage plus 50%, and while Federation, enemy all damage plus 50%. So, this suit definitely wants you to be Federation, and it just lets you do all the things. It's terrifying. Jesus, that beam saber's spooky. And the shield beam gun. A- power, D Pierce, 11 magazine, see the arms for details, big slappers only. Honestly, I don't know what to say to the Hainu besides holy crap, calm down. I don't know what to say to the TR6 besides holy crap, stop buffing your entire squad. Please, I want to have a chance. Today was a weird day looking over the new additions to this game. I'm really scared now as we roll into Christmas, and I can't wait to see what new hell they shall bring upon us. Oh boy. You watched the Dune movie yet? I've been really busy the last couple of weeks. I barely managed to find the time to do the Evolution stream, the Eternal stream, all those things. And then we have, I believe, let me double check the dates for this weekend. I believe, yeah, we have Thanksgiving this weekend as well, so I'm gone for that too. Yeah. Anyways. For everyone that was here for Just Gundam, thanks for hanging out, tuning in, all that fun stuff. Sorry I haven't been covering this game so much recently. Lots of things have happened, and the normal stream time has been a wee bit usurped by other stuff being released and just general stuff. I'll keep doing the content as normal, though, going forward. For everyone that just wants to hang out for a few minutes after, feel free to stick around. I want to talk about some other stuff briefly and then hop off and go to bed. So, yeah, for anyone that's leaving, thanks for tuning in, hanging out, all that fun stuff. I'll see you next week for the next stream. Yeah. So, stuff I wanted to talk about outside of this. So, let's see. Star Rail. I got into the CBT. I believe I brought this up before. I was super happy about that. However, it turns out I'm not going to be able to participate in it because their end seems to have screwed up. And I have no recourse as to correct the issue. When I filled out their giant big testing agreement form, I submitted my Hoyo ID and my email, and it turns out that they are supplying the access to a completely unrelated account ID. And when I tried reaching out to a couple of the CBT server admins for help, I radio silence. So I'm assuming that they're just figurehead admins like a lot of these companies do, and they just bring in people that are like, oh yeah, I've admined on all these mobile games before, and they don't actually know what to do. They just want the clout. I don't know. But anyways, I can't do the CBT, which kills me because I really wanted to try that game before it released. I still have yet to sit down and watch The Witch from Mercury. I really want to friggin' watch it. But the last 2 days have been hectic. Today was finishing Overlord Season 4 because I had those 3 episodes on the back burner. So I binged those 3 very quickly. I'm really happy where they left off with that arc. It was a nice ending to it. Yeah. Mobile game wise, a couple of my friends have pressured me to pick up Counterside and play that, so I've been doing that for the last few weeks. I was trying to play Blue Archive to see if that would stick with me, and it was fun. But I found that it required too much of my time with all the little things between the PvP, the total assault, the bounties, figuring out the missions I need to run for the right gear recipes to upgrade what I have, event grinding, all these little things, right? It just felt tedious. Counterside is much more take face, slam into problem. Yeah, I don't really care so much about the gear grind, so it's not as bad as the first time around, but let's see what else was interesting this week, or the last few weeks. I've been playing a good handful of Evolution. I need to get around to streaming that a little more often, but the people that I play with, let's just say, I feel like I would be demonetized on YouTube if I stream too often with them, because they really, we're used to just gamer talking stuff, you guys know what I mean, so it would really not fly very well, not with YouTube's guidelines, so I need to figure that out. I would have loved to do Eternal content, but as you guys are most likely aware, I didn't actually get access to the Eternal CBT. I should have gotten access, but due to a technical oversight on Bandai's end, I wasn't able to access or play it at all. So, not so much the gamer word, but we're very unrestrained with our language, and you have to kind of... All you really need to do is take a look at YouTube's policies for what they consider offensive language, and you'll see very quickly as to why. For example, I drop an F-bomb, YouTube doesn't care. I drop 5 to 6 F-bombs, YouTube starts to care a little bit. In a normal gaming session, we drop about 80 to 100 F-bombs. YouTube would care a lot about that, and my monetization would be dented at worst, or at best. It would suck. So, yeah. You need to watch Witch from Mercury. It's amazing. Yeah, Mana. I am well aware. I've heard nothing but praise for it, and it is sitting on my computer. It is ready to watch. I just need to find the time to do it. I'm actually contemplating doing it tomorrow or potentially the day after, casting it to that TV, grabbing some popcorn, and just enjoying some Gundam, I just need to find the time, and I think that's really the biggest issue here. Blue Archive is like GBM, so tedious. Yes, that's what I found, and that's kind of why I ended up uninstalling it, is as much as I wanted to like it, because I know a bunch of my friends are playing it, and I kind of wanted to have that ground to talk to them with, I just couldn't do it. Actually, what I can do here, you can actually see the games I currently have active right now. So going from the left to the right here, we'll go top down. So the first one, Pokemon Masters, purely as a login simulator, because I got a soft spot for Cynthia. So every time any of her forms get added to the game, I just roll it, and then I just go back to like log in, present box, collect, turn it off, and I'm done for the day. Literally the login sim. Grand Blue Fantasy, I still play that super actively. Should probably stop. That game is taking everything from me. Fate Grand Order, because, Fate Grand Order, I've been playing that since launch, so I'll stop when the servers do. Counterside, I've been really lucky with my rolls so far, and now I'm just waiting for Horizon. But the gear grind in Counterside is very, very tedious, but at least it's something that's like you do once and you're pretty much set for a character unless you really care about high ranking PvP. So I'm not too concerned about that one. Yeah, the One Piece collab, it's already ended. It was a really fun collab. Luffy has actually become a mainstay in my fire setup. At least my burst fire setup with Grand Percival. Yeah, no, it was a good collab. It was a really good collab. Lots of stuff. Today should be Road to 7's LB 5.2 release. All I think about when I see the Road to event things is just free summoning tickets, honestly. Punishing Grey Raven. So this is... Okay. I love Punishing Grey Raven. I love the graphics. I love the mechanics. I love the combat. I love the game. However, I've noticed that I've slowly become more disconnected with it over time as they make the events have more content in them and they start making things more complicated than they used to be. For example, we used to have events which were just stories, right? You'd go in and you'd have your linear progression path of a story, and it was just do these missions, clear this content, get all the way through, bada bing, bada boom. You get all your black cards, you get all the content, do your hard version of the missions, all your black cards, cool. All right. You wait a couple of days, and boom, farming stage. You just sit there and you just grind the farming stage over and over and over and over and over again. Trade in the shop, life's great. Okay, straightforward. But nowadays, it's, okay, so we have an event. The event has a completely new minigame you've never seen before in your life, and here's the 45-page manual on how to do this game. But that's not how you actually farm event currency. For once you've done this main story, we now have 15 new modes for you to fight bosses in. That's how you get your black card currency. But that's not all, folks. We also have these 3 event stages that you can grind for different currencies. It's like, I don't care about all this shit anymore. I've become so disconnected from it because it used to be very simple, straightforward. Log on, do my challenge missions, do my daily missions, bada bing, bada boom, I'm done. But now it's like, I got to check through all these game modes to see where the black card currency's at so I don't have to spend money. I got to figure out how to tackle all these boss missions and stuff. And it's like, if it was the only mobile game I played, no issues at all. Tons of content and all that. But I'm looking for stuff that's like really hop in, hop out kind of thing, right? Grand Blue, full auto. I don't even have to watch the game. It plays itself. I like that, right? I got like 4 or 5 raids I do a day. No problem. Pokemon Masters, log in and out. Fate Grand Order. That's the only one I actually put time into. But again, the events are super straightforward. Punch the crap out of farming nodes until you get what you need and progress and move on with life, right? So Punishing Gray Raven, I'm not really sure. I'm like, part of me wants to uninstall it and just wait for Wuthering Waves and hope that's much more straightforward and simplistic. But I don't want to just get rid of Punishing Gray Raven because I put a ton of time into it since it launched, and I still do really enjoy it. It's just way more complicated than it used to be. Yeah. Azure Lane, I literally play that game for the Iron Bloods and the Iron Bloods only. I own all the Iron Blood units in the game, and I am almost at 120 for every single one of them. My only current, I think the only unit I don't have maxed out is that new research ship for Iron Blood. Everyone else was like 120, so I'm a happy boy. And obviously GBM, and yeah, it's kind of the list. I got what 2 effective login sims between Pokemon Masters and Azure Lane. GBM, which I do the content for. I'm actively playing Counterside and Grand Blue, and then FGO is log in, log out, unless there's an event to farm. Sunk time fallacy. So yes and no, Alex. I've put a ton of time into it, but that's really not the only reason. Like I said, I love the game. I love all the different combat mechanics. I love the way it feels to play. It is a rewarding game to do well in. But it's just the events that have effectively driven me away from it. And I don't know if the events get simpler. I don't know if they become more straightforward or anything like that. And that's why I'm kind of on the fence about getting rid of it. It's more a case of, I don't want to get rid of it because I love it so much, but I also don't want to have to dedicate a ton of my time to this. So I'm giving it a couple more events to kind of see how it pads out. And if it turns out to still be just a slow of a time and it's just so much crap to pay attention to, I'll probably uninstall it as much as I don't want to. Yeah, there comes a point where you make your game have too much content, and it can feel very overwhelming for people that are looking or started because it was a casual experience and then it turned into something a lot more. I will still say, though, that PGR has the best free-to-play gacha I've ever had the pleasure of experiencing, straight up. As long as you play the game, do your like weeklies and your events and stuff, like the challenges, not the actual event stuff, but like your pain cage, your war zone, right, takes like 10 minutes a day to do. You'll have enough black card currency every like other patch to just roll the S rank frame. You'll have every character without much difficulty. And I don't know very many other games, if any other games, that actually actively do that for their players. So I will always have praise for that game for that reason alone, among other things. Yeah. Anyways, that's pretty much it. I think I've talked about everything that I need to. Any interest in the new Star Ocean game releasing at the end of the month? Star Ocean, you say? Okay, let me just we're gonna watch this. Actually, no, wait, I can't because I'm gonna get hit with the DMCA. I can't restream it for you guys. Give me a sec here. Let me just watch it really quick. I did not know this was a thing. God, Fancy Star never change with your outdated graphics. Huh. To answer your question, I am quite interested, as it is Fantasy Star, and I do like my Fantasy Star. However, there is a little bit of hesitation involved with that because the last one I played, fun, but it felt. Put this. I feel like it's a lot like the Is series, whatever. Um, they're playing a lot to like that old nostalgia feel that older games had. They don't care a ton about the graphics. They care more about the experience, right? The story perchance and the gameplay. But I always find that these games have a very cheesy gameplay, like story, right? And very predictable. And that was one of the issues I had with Integrity and Faithlessness was the game graphics were nothing jaw-dropping. They look good, don't get me wrong, but it was nothing like, new next gen or even previous gen. It felt a couple gens old. And I was playing it and I was like, you know what? It's probably just the aesthetic. They cared a lot more about the story and the other experiences. And I played through it and it was okay. The story notes were very, well, obvious, honestly. And there were some parts I felt could have been better. And I look at, when I played Lacrimosa of Dana, it was kind of the same thing, where I saw the gameplay, the graphics, and I was like, okay, so they're probably focusing a little more on the story then, right? Again, the story was about as transparent as a nice pane of glass. So I look at this new Fantasy Star game, and I'm like, ooh, I like my Fantasy Star. But it doesn't exactly look like a shining example of like next or last gen or even current gen. It kind of sits a couple gens back. And like, I'm just afraid the story is going to be a real letdown again, I I feel like I've become a little too cynical when it comes to games these days. Like, I want to enjoy them, but like, ugh. They make it so difficult. Fantasy Star, Star Ocean, at the end of the day, to me, they all encapsulate the same things. You look me in the eye and you tell me that Fantasy Star and Star Ocean aren't effectively the same these days. Do it. They show a bunch of gameplay recently. Yeah, but That's what I mean, is watching that release trailer, seeing the open world was really cool at the beginning. But then I realized that that's going to cause a lot of issues with most JRPG storytelling, because that is one thing I think JRPGs should embrace a little more, is like, okay, whenever I think of a good JRPG, right? They aren't. One's an online game. The setting is effectively the same. The graphics are effectively the same. Like, it's. Ugh. My OC Blonic, do not steal. um, but anyways, when I think of a good JRPG, right, I roll back to like Golden Sun, where it had bottleneck points that forced you to go back and hit certain areas to explore them. Yes, it was tedious, it was annoying, but it forced exploration. It was effectively like, hey, we know that there's a huge world, but you best explore every nook and cranny of it. But the storytelling was really nice. The combat was, oh yeah. The collectible system was just top notch. That's what I mean, right? Is you gotta have certain aspects really shine. I look at modern JRPGs and the combat is the story is there's no real collectible system to talk about. And that's kind of the issue, right? Xenoblade Chronicles 3 was amazing because the story carried every other aspect of it. Sure, there were some very cheesy parts of the story, as you'd expect from a JRPG, but the payoff every time they dropped one of the major points was worth it. Most other JRPGs cannot say that about themselves. You hit these important story points, and it's like, just kind of takes all the air out of it, you know? Oh, it's Sukia. What's up, man? It's like calling Star Wars Star Trek. I don't think I agree with that, though. So, when I played New Genesis, okay, I still remember the graphics and the feel of that game. And watching that Star Ocean trailer gave it the same energy, honestly. Remove the MMO aspect. Literally just look at it from like a single player point of view, right? I don't know. I guess I'm just seeing a lot of overlap in these games now. And I think it's just because I've played so many of them over the years. It's just kind of, they're all blending together. But long and short, my big issue that I'm really having with it is it doesn't look graphically like anything I should be amazed with. And typically the story is going to be very transparent and lackluster, as Star Ocean has recently apparently fallen into the trap of. Ever play Xenosaga? I did play the Xenos, yeah. Don't want to be that guy, but Final Fantasy VII, Peak, blah, blah, stuff. I'm missing that remake shit, though. Honestly, I never played Final Fantasy VII. I actually have never played Final Fantasy with the sole exception of Crystal Chronicles and Final Fantasy 15. Outside of that, Final Fantasy 14, which doesn't really count, I don't think. But I was not a Sony guy growing up, actually. My first PlayStation was a PS2, and we never actually got any Final Fantasy games on there. My JRPG experience started on the, well, I guess if you call Pokemon a JRPG, I started with Pokemon on my Game Boy Color, and then I kind of evolved up into the Game Boy Advanced, and that's where I picked up Golden Sun and started playing those. But my true two-form JRPG experience, I think, started, it would have been Persona 4. I think I've told this story before to you guys. But at the time, friend of mine that I knew over MSN Messenger, he lived in the UK somewhere, up in England/UK. And he recommended to me Persona 4, and he was like, it's amazing, you should try it, just don't ask questions, just do it. So I did it. And that really hooked me on JRPGs. That's where I played Persona 3 FES. That's where I downloaded the entire AT project. So you had Artanelico, Artanelico 2, Monokemia, Monokemia 2, Atelier Iris 1, 2, and 3. That entire group of games, I played that. Yeah. So when I look at modern JRPGs with their storytelling and their gameplay and everything, it's like I expect some kind like a scale. I don't expect them to look absolutely top of the line AAA, and have an amazing story written by an established author that knows their shit and knows how to bring people in to want to experience more of the story, and also have amazing mechanics that make you go, holy crap, this is so much fun. I don't expect that because I know that's setting the bar super, super high. That's where it used to be, right? Was super, super high. You look at the games that did it well. Persona 5, right? Those games are very rare. They're scarce. They are what other games should aspire to be. It shouldn't be the standard because then we get a whole bunch of half-baked games. Cyberpunk. So when I look at modern games or JRPGs coming out, right? If they don't have good graphics, acceptable. Do you have an amazing story with good combat? No? Why do you exist? Who gave you the green light? Out of here. And that's kind of what I'm concerned about. So I'm going to wait for that new Star Ocean game to release. I'm going to watch a couple of reviews of it after it comes out and get a general idea of what actually is offered through the story and gameplay and everything else. Because honestly, like, I can't validate throwing money at another JRPG that's probably just going to be half-baked at the end of the day. It's safe to expect that standard from Final Fantasy 16. Team has stacked more of that ARPG. Okay, so I am hopeful for Final Fantasy 16. Now, here's a true hot take. I really enjoyed Final Fantasy 15. I really liked the general mood they were going with. Don't get me wrong. There are a lot of things about that game I did not like. I did not like the fact that as you did certain things in an area and then progressed to the next region, they effectively hard locked that last region and then kind of threw in like a little mechanic to let you go back and experience the past through memories. I get why they had to do it like that. It worked in terms of the story. But from a personal point of view, I found that very, just left a bad taste in my mouth. But, and that's just one of the complaints I have, mind you. But I liked the feeling they had with the whole concept of, just going on a road trip with the bros, let's hang out, and let's just relax. It was like a slice of life kind of thing. And I really enjoyed that. All right, and that was something I enjoyed. I look at Final Fantasy 16 and I'm hopeful that they do something to capture another mood that makes me look at it and go, that looks really cool. I resonate with that. I want to experience that. But I'm going to be very cautious about it because my biggest fear is over investing into and hoping that I get the same energy I did from that as I did Final Fantasy 15 and being let down from it, So I don't like Star Ocean character designs because they all have babyface syndrome. That's definitely like they got like the really round cheeks and like the really big eyes on most of their characters, especially the female ones. So I get where you're coming from with that. All their characters look very, very young. Edge Runners. Yes, Alex. I did actually binge all of Edge Runners in one day. I enjoyed it a lot. I found the ending, although there was a little bit of whiplash involved, as it didn't end how I thought it was going to end, and I'm very appreciative of that. It's very rare to be completely blindsided by something. Like, not fully blindsided. You could tell who, there were some people that definitely, it was going to end a certain way, but it still surprised me, and I was very happy with that. But it was very good. Definitely reignited my spark to play a little bit of Cyberpunk along with a lot of other people. From what I understand, it had a very high concurrent player base shortly after Edge Runners aired. So, Yeah, it seems a lot of people kind of got brought back into it. And they're also making a sequel to Cyberpunk as well, so I'm excited to see, hopefully, they have a little more polish on that one. That'd be nice. Xant's a boy band fan. Man, you should have seen my Granblue Light team when I started. Literally boy band the element. Jesus, I'm glad that it's changed. They're going for a more mature story. They're taking a lot of inspiration from popular seinen manga. Yeah, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna withhold judgment. I'm gonna let them just do their jam and release it. Um, yeah, it's a lot like the Grand Theft Auto leaks that came out. I like what they're doing. I feel confident that they know what they're doing, and I'm just gonna let them do their jam. And when it comes out, it comes out. And that's how I feel about a lot of things. Really like the music in Edge Runners. Yeah, most of it was, from what I recall, most of it was taken from Cyberpunk. There were a few original tracks on there, which were also bangers. Yeah, and Cyberpunk had a really good OST. It's a shame that the game did so poorly because it had a lot of virtues, frankly. Like, it was good. Anyways, guys, I'm going to wrap up and head out. It is like 1 a.m. I've talked a lot more than I thought I was going to. Thanks for the talk, guys. It was lots of fun. Peace out. See you guys all next week, unless something crazy happens between now and then. Peace out. See you on the next one.